Welcome back to Geekshow Arcade. Yeah.
Nailed it, Tony.
Where we play Baldur's Gate exclusively.
All Baldur's Gate all the time.
Or is that
I'd
just
like
me?
to own it someday.
You should get it. It's totally worth your time.
Yep.
Why
I
haven't
don't
you got it
know.
yet? Why haven't you got it yet?
Not only that,
Come on.
it's one of those games that needs to be purchased, if only just to support a fantastic development team that deserves money for what they did, even if you don't play it for 130 hours like I did.
Sometimes I feel like I
I'd
don't
like
know
to
how
say the
they...
same thing about Elden Ring. So when you guys buy Elden Ring, I'll buy Baldur's Gate. Deal?
Does Elden Ring have the same amount
How dare
of
you.
potential endings and choices?
No, not even close.
Not even.
It's
Elden
not a game
was-
about choices, but
story.
it's a game about forging your own adventure however you want to play it, though.
I actually have an article about I didn't put it on here. Never mind.
Well,
About
You
a game
don't
like
have
that.
an article.
I might have it in my email still. Anyway, this is the Geek Show Arcade where we talk about games that use technology and game related things. Oh man, sometimes I go into cruise control and my brain just shuts off. Let's start by introducing our illustrious panelists that are here. James and Lando are on assignment for various reasons. And Lando was last minute, so it's just three of us. Let's start with Jaren. Hi, Jaren.
Hey, I'm Jaren. Hello, everyone. Hope you're doing well. And that's it. I'm Jaren. Goodbye.
All right. Hey, it's Owen.
yep.
For the love, guys, bring the energy.
I'm
up.
sorry.
Come
Sorry.
on.
All right. Hey. Follow me on what do we call it? Zitter? Twerks.
Why would people
I
do
don't-
that, Owen, when you don't tweet? Why follow you on Twitter?
Because
It
I'm
makes
an
no
inter-
sense.
Because for the street cred.
You don't even reply to people.
No. I don't
Yeah.
have to.
So
I
why do you tell
supply-
people to waste their time? Why do they trust you?
Listen, because if they follow me, somebody else is going to be like, "Whoa, they follow at Technoan," and it gives them street cred. I don't have to post anything. I just have that level of street cred that people want it by just following me.
Okay,
know
you're
if
talking
street
out of your
cred-
butt now.
I don't know if
Bask in
street
my
cred works.
glow or stand in my shadow, but it doesn't matter to me.
I don't think street cred works like you think street cred works.
I don't think it doesn't work like I don't think it works. I'll tell you who has.
I'm confused.
You know who's not confused? Our host.
No,
Don't-
And he
I'm
actually
confused.
tweets. He's an actual good follow on Twitter.
No, I'm a good follow.
At
I'm a
Quad
good lot
T
of things.
Tony and Blue Sky, it's there at Quad T. Oh, let's see. Oh, do we have any emails?
Indeed, we do. Got an email from Argo Spurton. He says, "Hey
Yo.
gamers, interesting times now at Sony Game Studios as they've had some very big games this year, and the PS5 is selling well. Very weird then to see so many execs getting the axe or retiring from Sony Game Studios. This has been echoed in other studios they have purchased or are involved with laying off staff. Just yesterday, it was reported that Bungie was laying off employees and that the final expansion to Destiny 2 was going to be delayed till June from February.
Yep.
For a live service game, that can kill your population. What are your guys' thoughts on these recent developments with layoffs occurring across the game industry when we were having a banger year with great games? Is this the beginning of the end for live service games? Argo Spurton.
Well, Argo Spurton, I think you're right. The live service games live and die by their ability to consistently put out quality content. And if the devs aren't doing that, then people are going to move on to the next thing, you know. And I can't remember, did we talk about Bungie last week? I think we did.
I think we did, yeah.
And, you know, a lot of people, myself included, have come to the conclusion that Bungie has really fumbled the ball on pretty much everything post Halo, unfortunately. They've done the thing that they still do well, consistently well, and it's the only thing saving them is their game mechanics as far as the first-person shooter gameplay. They do that really well. But their storytelling ability post-Halo is trash. if you ask me.
They were kind of a first mover, though. I mean, not really, but for the modern.
No, they were. You're absolutely right. They were the first big twin stick first person shooter game on the consoles, and they were able to parlay that into a lot of successful Halo games.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, even with Destiny as a live service, they were kind of a first
Oh.
mover in the recent crop of live
yeah.
service games.
I could see that. Yeah, that they also had an advantage in that aspect too. But yeah, tell me how I start Destiny 2 if I haven't been playing it already. You know, how do I know what the lore is? How do I know what the story is? How do I know who the characters are? Like,
I have no idea how the upgrades even work in that game.
no, and they keep changing it around and then deleting things that you've already earned and then bringing them back. And like, yeah, Sony. Well, I feel bad for Sony because they purchased Bungie last year for like $3.6 billion or some ridiculous amount.
I
So
feel like Microsoft's just laughing right now. Like,
Yeah,
we pressured
seriously.
them into buying Bungie, and look what happened.
Yep.
So
Anyway,
what content have live service like games, they require content after content. Like,
yep.
what did Destiny do? Was it patches? Was it cosmetics? Characters?
Well, they would
Maps,
always
like-
every what is it? I think once a year they'd have a big expansion, and then they'd have several events throughout the year that are usually related to calendar events. You know, like a Halloween event, a Christmas event, et cetera, et cetera.
Halo Infinite kind of does this too, right? Like,
Yeah, Halo Infinite does it a little bit, not to the extent of
right? Yeah,
like Bungie. They went as far as like, you know, adding a whole bunch of stuff to the hub area so that it looks like it reflects Christmas time, or
I see.
Halo or
Because
Halloween.
Halo did that a little bit. You could get a Santa hat,
Yeah,
you know,
a couple
cat
of
ears.
cosmetics,
Yeah,
but all that appealed to is the people that get on to grind,
Right.
the strikes and play the multiplayer. You know, like as far as
Right.
anything story related,
costume.
Destiny has it's junk. You know,
Yeah.
but
well,
the
back
games
to
the games that do it well are the ones that don't have to rely on a story. That's your Fortnite, and actually, Fortnite has a story every time they do it with all their crossovers they do. But anyway, back to the email.
back to the email about his thing about the layoffs. I don't think it's video game specific, like that industry. It's just
It's
what
very
it's been.
volatile.
It's just how the economy's been the last year. Like
Yeah.
Right.
during the pandemic, it was higher, higher, higher. Now the pendulum's swinging the other way, and all right, let's get rid of the extra people that we figured out we don't think we need anymore.
The market couldn't bear it.
Well, and we found out too that, especially in California and the big tech companies in California, they were hiring people just
to bench them.
Yeah, just to keep them off other competitors' payroll, so that they had.
How nuts is that?
Yeah, they were just poaching resources basically to, you know, collecting Pokemon cards. Like terrible business structure right there. So yeah, and don't get me wrong.
If I'm one of those developers, though, I'm loving that. Right? Like,
well,
a
it
little
depends
bit.
on the personality. It frustrated a lot of developers
Yeah,
because they
true.
actually want to work. They want
because they're also a
wanna
little
do
bit like
stuff.
artists, right? They
Yeah.
want to get their work out there. I
Exactly.
get that, but for me, I mean, I'm right at that cruise through life, no effort.
I can't say that I would
Path
disagree with
of-
that either.
Path
but,
of least resistance, where I'm just like, you just want to not have me work over there? Okay,
deal.
done.
Yep. So
How long
but
will this
yeah,
last? 2 years? All right, I'm in.
I'm
I'm in. It's 2 years
That's-
of
that's
easy
almost-
street.
It's a little bit of resume poisoning, though, because then you have 2 years with no actual accomplishments on your resume,
Yeah,
and
that's true.
makes it harder for you. But I get it.
That's true. And even though I am dogging on Bungie hard the last couple episodes, I do feel bad for the people that got laid off. That sucks. You know, I'm not celebrating
But
that
with them-
in any way.
Were they did Bungie do the growth phase, or do you think this is like kind of looking towards something bigger, like maybe foundational cracks, you know?
I
Could
think
be that too.
I think it's more the foundational cracks, because how do you justify, you know, laying off people after you just got a $3.6 billion infusion, you know?
Right.
So
what are you hedging for?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's not really an infusion. It's more
Well,
like the investors into Bungie got a lot of money, and the actual workers, they're
That's what
part
I'm
of a
saying.
larger company now, and they have to reach
think-
unrealistic goals.
Do you
Right.
think that it was Sony's decision to lay these people off, or do you think it was Bungie?
I bet it was Sony's.
They're like
think
we
so?
only need.
Oh, maybe.
They're like we only need this many devs. You think it was like like role duplication or something?
Honestly,
Maybe it wasn't Sony explicitly, but maybe Sony had targets for them that they needed to reach,
Oh.
and Bungie was like, okay, we can't do this. We have to lay people off.
that's
Right.
probably the most likely explanation, I think. Yeah. But I don't know. If you ask me, I think Bungie should just be used at this point to make the other developers, the other development houses better, help them with their like shooting tech and stuff like that, help them branch out and make their stuff better, because Bungie doesn't know what they're doing by themselves anymore. They're just meh. Anyway, thanks for writing in, Argo Sportin'.
Letter from Lang. He says, "Happy Halloween, gents. Finishing up on Spider-Man Remastered, and I'm very excited to hop on to Spider-Man 2.
Oh, baby.
Question for each of you: what superhero or heroes you wish was made in a standard as high as Spider-Man? My vote: Uncanny X-Force or Invincible. You guys are the best. Lang.
Invincible would be awesome. If they could make a video game as good as Spider-Man or the Batman Arkham games out of Invincible, that would probably be my choice too. Yep.
No comment. I don't know.
Well,
enough.
he wasn't saying video game. He just said a standard as high as Spider-Man.
Huh?
He says, question for each of you.
Standard of what?
What superhero or heroes do you wish was made in a standard as high as Spider-Man? Just
Made
like
in a video
general.
game as high a standard as high as Spider-Man.
You never said video game.
Well, what else would he be referring to?
I don't know.
Nope.
Comic
I'm
books
just
and
reading
his
the
video
email.
game email?
No.
Just
counter.
like properties in general. Movies.
0 minutes
comics,
for Jern.
Well, then
Video games.
I still go with Invincible either way.
Okay. All right,
Nope.
deal.
We're resetting your counter, Jern. 0 minutes.
I don't have a counter.
I know. Dang it.
Owen, do you have any input on this?
I don't. No comment. I don't want to sound stupid, and I don't know what Invincibles is. And at this point, I'm. Too
Oh,
afraid to
dude,
ask.
have you not been watching Invincible on Amazon Prime? The
no,
cartoon? It's
I have
freaking
not.
fantastic.
No.
It is super good. It's based off a comic book by Robert Kirkman, who's the same guy that wrote the Walking Dead series. Right?
Okay. So
And the comic book is, I think it's my favorite comic book of all time, actually. It ran for about 120 issues under Image Comics published it. And it was Robert Kirkman, Cory Walker, and gosh dang it, why can't I remember the third guy who came on around issue 12? And he lives in Utah. He's a Utah guy. Son of a gun.
it'll come to you.
Yeah, but anyway,
If only there was a service where you could just look it
I'm
up really
looking up.
quickly.
but super, super fantastic series.
It's an animated series on Amazon.
It's animated on Netflix, yeah.
Prime? Oh, okay.
Yeah, you need to check that out.
Invincibles on Netflix.
No, sorry, not Netflix. Prime.
Okay.
What did I say? Ryan Otley. Duh, Ryan Otley. Okay.
Duh.
Jaron, who would you choose then?
I vote with Tony.
Oh, I don't have one.
What do you mean you don't have one?
After
I don't-
all of that, he just
I
X-Men,
don't
dude.
really. Yeah, I mean, I loved X-Men as a kid, but
You know, great
know.
Insomniac level game of X-Men, game featuring the X-Men could be. Oh man, so good.
it could be fun.
So Jaron votes Invincible as well. All right, 3 votes for
Okay.
Invincible.
boom.
Cool.
Let's get it done.
Yep. Thanks for writing in, Lang. All right. Let's talk about.
We have another email.
Oh, we got 3. Well, look at that. We're popular.
Which is fine because today's
what?
a slow news day.
It deserves another one of those.
Boom.
Yeah, there we go.
Double shot.
From Benjamin, he says, software disassembly is an interesting field. I'm not familiar with what they've been doing for Nintendo 64 games, but have a small understanding of how it supposedly works on compiled executables. So, oversimplifying it, software can be used to follow the pathways in a program and map out what is going on in a very generic sense. If you can prototype out what the structures are in a game, you can reverse engineer the code. Memory editing is roughly the same from what I've seen. You're locating an object or pointer in memory and adjusting it on the fly as opposed to changing at rest. No clip mode, as an example, that's typically an interaction of your character with the game object, be it a wall or floor, etc. IDA is one such tool, used more for malware analysis. Unity/Unreal, I think, are hardened against such manipulation, using encryption on objects in memory and hardened encryption at rest. Nintendo 64 games might just be old enough at this point where they are easier to take apart.
Oh, that's cool.
Because we were talking about this last week.
Perfect
when we
Dark.
were saying how they reverse engineered that.
Yeah, I think we called it decompiling, and he used a different word that's probably more correct.
Disassembly.
Disassembly.
Software disassembly.
Cool. Yeah, thanks for writing in, Benjamin. That's interesting stuff right there.
That crosses kind of into my field too with information security, which is really cool because he talks about IDA and the malware reverse engineering stuff. That's how they take that apart to find out what a virus is doing or something, a worm or whatever, malware. Interesting to use it. Somebody was like, I can use this on video games. Vidya.
And here we are talking about it. All right, big news from Nintendo. Live action Zelda movie is officially in the works.
I'm glad that they're doing a movie of it and not a TV show. Are you guys getting bored with the constant 8-episode TV series?
No, I love it.
No, I love them.
You like that format?
You get long form storytelling versus 2 hour movie.
Especially with like Wheel of Time season 2, Owen. Like
Jaron, don't do that. Nobody. It takes everything I have to hold back Neckbeard Owen. And you know what you're going to do, and you know what you're doing, and I'm just going to say you're right, Jaron.
Would you rather have a Wheel of Time 8-episode season or a movie?
At this point, I'd rather have a dumpster with a fire that I could throw them in.
What happened to holding back Neckbeard Owen? It's out. He's out.
The hair is overtaking the microphone.
It comes up like a mask.
Yep. So, yeah, live action Zelda movie, which is fine because Zelda doesn't really have a story anyway, so they can just make anything up they want that can fit 2 hours.
Lando just puked right now. He literally just spat out whatever he was drinking.
Like some properties, there's too much story to fit into a movie.
Yeah, this is
with Zelda. I fear there's too little story.
It's a blank canvas, right?
Just make it up. Yeah.
To even run like an hour and 20 minutes.
To make it a Zelda movie, this is literally all that they have to make a Zelda movie.
Is this going to be? So it's just going to be like an extended gameplay trailer then.
They should have Michael Bay do it because he doesn't really care about story anyway.
It's perfect.
Or characters. He just cares about like explosions.
Oh, we can get better than Michael Bay. I would say the person you would want. Now we have a director attached actually, but the person, if I'm going down that route, I would want is the guy that's done the last 2 or 3 Fast and Furious movies.
Oh,
Justin
man.
Lin.
Jumping cars between
anymore, but yeah, he would be perfect.
Jumping cars between buildings is totally realistic. So shut your dirty mouth. Okay.
So this is news that just came out today. The movie is directed by someone named Wes Ball, who actually has made some higher profile movies. He did the Maze Runner trilogy, which was not
I like those
critically acclaimed, but still considered decent.
They were good adaptations of the books, unlike The Wheel of Time.
But what I'm excited to see is his next project is coming out. He got tapped for Kingdom of Planet of the Apes, which is
I'm excited for that franchise.
Yeah, if you saw the new trailer for it, it's pretty bad.
That is a guilty pleasure of mine. The Planet of the Apes.
There's nothing guilty at all about that. Those first 3 movies are fantastic.
They're great, but they're just kind of like kitschy. I don't know. Like some people
I like the first one.
Yeah, I like all the second and third one.
I like
pretty cool.
I stopped watching the second one midway through, and I never watched the third one.
I liked them all, just like the.
Anyway, so we got that going on. Shigeru Miyamoto, Zelda's creator. If you've never heard of Shigeru Miyamoto and you listen to this podcast, I am surprised. He will serve as producer, just like he did on the Super Mario Brothers movie that came out this year that made boatloads of money. and was actually quite good as well. And he is co-producing with Avi Arad, and that's
Super
another
producer.
name. Yeah, that's another name. If you don't recognize him, then you're just not paying attention, because he produces tons and tons and tons of stuff. And a lot of it comes out, or at least a lot of it that I know of anyway, comes out pretty good usually. So he says, this is the quote, "This is Miyamoto." He was tweeting out from the Nintendo Twitter's account. "This is Miyamoto. Miyamoto. I have been working on the live-action film of The Legend of Zelda for many years now with Avi Arad-san, who has produced many mega-hit films." Miyamoto said in a statement posted on X, formerly Twitter, "We might be waiting for a while for the movie, however," because Miyamoto also said, "It will take time until its completion, but I hope you look forward to seeing it."
He's already been working on it for years. What gives?
Yeah, I'm betting they probably don't even have the script done.
You're probably
Well, then
working
what's
on a
even
physics
work-
engine.
It's a movie.
What do you need a physics engine for? In a
Oh,
movie?
they've been working on the story.
Yeah, let's hope. Yeah, literally though, all you need for it to be a Zelda movie is the characters from a Zelda game and put them in a land called Hyrule. And you can
And
make
the
any story.
And the Master Sword.
Yep, Master Sword, Triforce, Ganondorf, story. That's it. You can put anything you want in between all of those pieces, and that's a Zelda story.
Yeah, and you pretty much know how it's going to end already. And so...
Yeah. And has no future. Just keep bringing him back to life and make
right.
more sequels. Disney
being-
this up.
That being said, though, I'm on board. I will definitely go see this movie.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
it's fantasy.
Yep.
I'll watch any fantasy,
Yeah,
especially
I'm excited
Wheel of
for
Time
this.
season 2.
There's a great
Bro.
season right there.
Bruh.
Yep. Tony
guy.
liked it. I liked it.
No,
I
he
did.
didn't.
Other
No, he
Wheel of
didn't.
Time fans I know
did.
liked it.
No, you didn't.
I did.
Tony? No, you
Sorry.
won't. You won't.
Owen,
Once you get
you're
to the
the
books.
only guy I know that doesn't like it because of
I
your
know
inability
or
to.
one
That-
other guy that didn't like it.
Okay,
Is he a
who's that?
neckbeard like Owen?
It was my friend Todd Bagley. He didn't like.
Oh
it
yeah,
very
he's
much.
a neckbeard.
Oh. Todd Bagley. I don't know if I like being in the same camp as Todd Bagley.
wonder
I mean,
he
if
still
Todd,
listens.
if Todd listens to this, I love you, man. He used to be my boss.
Oh yeah, Todd's great.
I'm giving him crap. One of the.
All
one
right,
Of the,
so
I have a story about that. I'll tell you later.
Let's move along to more Nintendo news. We got some little tidbits of information from their financial report this last week, and Nintendo Switch sales have reached, I guess, slightly surpassed 132 million units since it started sales in 2017, I want to say.
Yeah.
132 million units. It's one of the most ubiquitous systems ever put out.
never go cross-platform.
And
That way, people have to buy your hardware.
it grew 21.2% over last year. Like,
Yeah,
why?
sales went
Why
up.
are you still buying it, people? I want a new one. Stop
the
buying this
games.
old one.
I really think we're going to get an announcement in 2024 about a new one. So
I hope so.
I really hope so too. And then speaking of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom has sold almost 20 million copies. So think about that. That's an attach rate of like 15%. And for a game on a game system, that's pretty high, especially when you consider that there's only
It's
one system.
glorified DLC.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's that aspect too. Some might feel. So yeah, it's pretty impressive stuff there. I think Nintendo is probably worried about the Switch 2, just because they have a very poor track record for following up massive successes with another success.
Right.
They usually end up whiffing it on after that, and then having to build up again on the following iteration. But hopefully they'll do it right this time. Oh, let's see. Okay, this is a bummer. I saw this, and I don't quite understand why they're doing it, but Microsoft is bringing the ban hammer down on unauthorized third-party accessories.
Yeah. I don't really understand why, but there's some unauthorized controllers out there, many for like the accessible community. What do you call them?
Accessibility community.
Accessibility. There we go. Community.
Yeah.
And now Microsoft is banning those. They're getting a 0x82D60002 bug, basically making it not unusable on your Xbox.
Isn't that the opposite of what Sony's doing? Didn't Sony lean into the accessibility controller with that?
No, Xbox did first, and they've been really, really good about that. And Sony just barely, I think, released its more accessible controller.
There's some stories coming out showing that actually in use now, and it's crazy awesome.
It's pretty cool, yeah.
Like to lower that barrier.
So is Xbox's, but I think this might be a knock-on effect, actually. I think they were just trying to probably bring the hammer down on unauthorized controllers that provide
like cheats.
Unfair cheats in games, in online games. But a knock-on effect on that is that specialized controllers that aren't authorized by Microsoft for accessibility reasons are now getting the ban hammer too.
I would be surprised if you didn't see an official
They'll roll
accessibility
it back. They have to roll it back.
Or an official accessibility controller come out from Microsoft.
They already have one.
Well, they already have one.
They have one. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I just hope they make it easier for the legit companies. But you're right, Tony. They're likely doing this because there's cheat devices out there like the Corona Zen that really make it worse for other people playing multiplayer games. So on the one hand, it makes sense, but I hope they
might have just gone too broadly.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully they either figure out a way to make it work and still ban the cheat devices, or they might just have to roll it back to because that's a bummer. It's no good. Let's see. Also, speaking of Sony and their controller, well, they're removing something from their PlayStations really, really soon here. Not controller related, but Twitter integration.
You used to be able to share your clips directly to Twitter. Well, Elon, he raised the prices quite a bit, and it seems like companies don't really want to pay that. And companies that help Twitter get big, companies that publish content onto Twitter.
No more.
Yep.
Yeah. So I can't comment on the weird business ideas of the Twitter executives, but whatever. So their integration to Twitter/X is now going away. I think as of next week, I believe. Yeah, November 13th. So you'll no longer be able to share to Twitter directly from the PS5, PS4 share button.
I wonder how much that was actually used.
Microsoft, they said in the article that it was like over 10,000 posts a day or something like that.
Was it?
Oh, wow. Yeah. So there was quite a few of posts going up, and Microsoft, this follows Microsoft. Microsoft already did the math, and it would cost them like $40,000 a month to continue on. So Sony's following in Microsoft's kind of footsteps here. But again, I feel like it's like, number one, fire everybody that knows how to run Twitter. Number two, reduce and remove the ability for good content to go up there. Step 3 is what's next. Turn off the servers, right? Like unplug power.
Step 3 is just a bunch of question marks. Step 4 is profit.
Yeah, there you go. Profit.
As long as you can make it past step 3.
Yeah.
Profit.
Yep. All right. Well, speaking of not profiting, Epic Game Store is still bleeding cash. And this was after a couple years ago when they said in their court case with Google and Apple that they planned on the Epic Game Store being net positive revenue-wise in 2023. Well, 2023 is almost over, and more information came out very recently in that ongoing court case, as it's been appealed several times. They're still not profitable on the Epic Game Store, and they continue to give out free games every week.
Do you know why they're not profitable besides giving away free games every week? Because the store still kind of sucks. Like the app.
It's definitely better. It's gotten better. But
it's better, but it's like bare bones better.
Yeah, it's still nothing compared to Steam.
Yeah, it's slow. There's really been no new features, significant features added. Cloud saves are still hit and miss depending on the game.
Been They need to be at least up to the level of GOG, and they're not.
Yeah.
GOG is still better.
Right.
Steam is, obviously far and away better. But the other thing they invest into is exclusivity deals. There's several
Which
games.
people hate.
People hate those, but devs like those because
Yeah.
it gives them more money to finish their game. And Epic's exclusivity deals are always, or at least up to now, I believe, have always been timed like a year or something before it goes on other platforms.
Though I think with Remedy, it might not be that way because it's like Epic published.
Oh, well, if that's the case, then yeah, it might not ever go
Yeah.
to Steam. I don't know.
Like Alan Wake Remastered and Alan Wake 2 are Epic published games, so I don't think they're going to Steam ever.
No deal,
Yeah,
right?
might
Like
not.
no deal to allow them to release to other platforms.
Yeah, it might not, but that's interesting too because Epic investing in a company like Remedy for their games strikes me as a little odd since Remedy uses their own in-house engine.
Which is better than Unreal Engine in my
Yeah,
opinion.
it looks better. It's not
And
as
runs better.
It's not as versatile, but for what they're doing with it, it looks better and runs better than Unreal Engine. The Northlight engine is chef's kiss.
Amazing.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
So, well, there you go. Maybe next year, Epic. Maybe next year you can turn a profit on the Epic Game Store.
Do you think their battle? Do you think their court battle with Apple and Google? Did they go to court with Google as well?
They're
both
in
of
court
them.
with Google right now.
Yeah, right now. Do you think
And they're
that wounded
arguing their
them?
case right now.
Didn't they? Do you think that wound? Like, I think both sides took wounds on that. I just think Apple was like, "We're huge. What are you gonna do?"
I don't know.
And
I think Epic wasted a lot of money doing that, and
Yeah, exactly.
most people have forgotten about the court case at this
Exactly.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Like the money they spent on that, like could have probably. I don't know. I guess it was the champion's quest, right? Like it was like it was like for the people, also for them,
Also
but
for us.
Well,
Yeah.
that's how they're spinning it anyway.
yeah, that's how they're spinning
thing-
it. Yeah.
And the thing is unless the only way that would have been a win for Epic, like, is if it had been a resounding win.
Yeah, and
in
it
the
was
court.
very
if they got
lukewarm. Yeah.
if they got everything they wanted out of it, then it would have been huge for them, and people would remember it.
The
forever.
precedent, right? Yeah.
But instead, they only got some stuff changed, and even then, it all got appealed, and so it just kind of, like most court things,
Faded out.
just fades away
Yep.
out of the public's
Business as you. Yeah, it's not
Yep.
exciting anymore.
Yep.
So it fades away, and once the public interest goes away, it's kind of like now we'll silently crush you and strangle you.
Purview. Exactly.
You know. So
We'll do you in with appeals until you want to stop throwing money at it.
because we can outlast you. Let's be
Apple.
honest. Yeah.
Hell yeah. I mean,
So
and I don't agree with them at all in this, but they could if they wanted to. Just keep appealing. Let's see. Owen, your story here about BlizzCon. Let's talk about how all the cool stuff announced there.
BlizzCon happened.
Was there any cool stuff?
I mean, no,
Oh.
there was not. Not to me. I mean, they talked about, so they did give some stuff out. They did release some trailers, some upcoming stuff. Diablo 4's first expansion was announced, so
That's,
we get
that's
one.
significant. Right?
Yeah, that's
probably
that's
the only
that's
one that I
probably
think had
they put it
big
at the
mass
very
appeal.
top. They put it at the very top of the article because it's a slow roll down past this headline right here. So their new expansion is going to be called Vessel of Hatred.
And that's how you feel about Wheel of Time.
It is a vessel.
No. Owen, you are the vessel of hatred.
Yeah, you are.
Oh,
Against Wheel of Time
yes,
TV show.
yes, the TV show, which is basically not. It's like the Wheel of Tim.
Owen,
you know,
Owen,
it's a
just
cheap
another.
knockoff.
It's just another turn of the wheel.
No,
This is something
I
that
re-
took place already.
mm-mm.
It will take
No.
place again.
I refuse that logic. I tried that I tried the multiverse logic, but it doesn't work. We're gonna call this the Wheel of Tim because of the knockoff-esque, you know,
Behold the wheel of Tim.
the Wheel of Team.
What Owen wants is like an hour episode of just tugging at
No.
hair braids and
No.
Oh,
women
no.
staring
Okay
at
with
each
that.
other.
No.
And
There was some of that in the first book I
Come
just
on.
finished, and I just I don't
Come
know how I'm
on.
going to do it later on when it gets
Come,
worse.
come
Oh
on.
no, that's throughout the whole series,
Come on.
and that's
not,
what Owen loves about
That's
it.
not what I wanted. They
Owen's into
fundamentally
brain tugging.
they fundamentally changed some of the biggest points in the story.
Oh no! Ooh.
No, yeah. I could do it better than Robert Jordan. I don't think they should have found the horn here. They should have found it here.
Yeah, that was weird. There was
Stupid.
yeah.
It was stupid.
I got-
Just call it what it is. It's dumb.
Why?
I got
Why?
to the end
Why?
of book
Why
one
does
and
it
I was
matter,
like,
Owen?
this is very different.
It matters, Jaron, because
Why?
one is what the author wrote, which is a good story, and the one is a really bad fanfic. So,
I mean,
Yeah.
technically,
It seems very subjective to me.
it's not.
technically, the last books written were fan fiction, written by
Yeah,
Brandon
that's
Sanderson.
No,
true.
they were not.
If you want to
No,
get technical,
no, technically not. He wrote the story. He gave all of the story in shorthand to his wife and some other guy, and they.
So you're
brought
saying Brandon
in.
didn't add anything of his own in there?
Hey, what not as a fan? He even
No,
says
he did.
that. No,
No, he did. He
No.
had his own story beats in there that he added himself.
lies.
No, it's
That's-
true.
I asked
That's
him when
my-
I was. I asked him when I
You
was in
asked
his
him,
house.
huh? Yeah,
So
okay.
when I
Oh,
was
yeah,
in
wh-
his house,
was
which
he
I've
there?
been. Yeah, he was there. I took pictures of his wall and his bird.
Did you see him?
not of him though.
I heard him writing downstairs. Okay.
Oh wow. Okay.
It was
Yeah.
it was with a quill. You could hear
Yeah.
it very loudly.
It was scratchy. It was him. Okay, my guy. And
But I
and
thought Robert Jordan wrote it, not Brandon Sanderson.
he
so
was just.
Why does it matter?
He's like a type editor, bro. He's a ghostwriter. Okay. He's just
That's always my favorite argument to make with anyone that's like, oh, well, this thing's just fan fiction based on the original material. And I'm like, okay, well, anything that's ever had any continuation by not the original author, you could count as fan fiction at that
Technically.
point. Like
If-
everything written about Spider-Man after Stan Lee and Steve Ditko, all fan fiction after that.
True. Until it just becomes canon.
Exactly.
Until there's
Until
so
people
much
just accept
until there's so much that Disney goes, okay, no more. This is canon and this is canon. The rest is just baloney. And somebody has to be the law. And if it's me, it's me. But I'm the law.
Owen is the law.
I'm the law in this
a
Wheel of
vessel
Time
of
town.
hatred that upholds the law. You just like Judge Dredd.
Yeah, there we go. You know what? A vigilante that takes no guff.
Takes no guff. Anyway, BlizzCon.
BlizzCon. Okay, let's go back. Let's go back to the BlizzCon. So 3 expansions of the World of Warcraft, the World Soul Saga, were announced. We got those. They've had the names here somewhere, but anyway,
I'm still amazed every year when they announce more expansions for World of Warcraft because I'm just like, people still play that.
it's just This is
All
that.
right.
This is that. They got to push out more
Yes,
content,
yeah.
right?
If that's your jam, yes, it's the games as a service.
So then they have World of Warcraft Classic is adding the Cataclysm expansion. I don't know
Which
either of the games, so
This whole World of Warcraft Classic thing is just mind-boggling to me. So basically, enough fans complained that World of Warcraft had changed too much from what it was when it started that Blizzard just says, okay, we'll do World of Warcraft Classic and just roll it back to the beginning.
man, that
And
makes me
you can
feel.
play everything over again with a fresh coat of paint.
That reminds me of Ethereum.
And we'll keep the other one going. It's going to continue going at the same rate it was before with the changes we've implemented.
Yeah.
But we'll have this little sandbox of old stuff for you to play in too.
It's for the people that reject the progress. People that just want to have the
People that-
nostalgia.
Yeah, they don't like TV adaptations of their books.
Exactly. What?
Yeah, it's
What's
people
wrong?
like you that take away fantasy shows from people like me, Owen.
Bad ones, I guess. You're welcome. Anyway. So let's see. Overwatch 2, they get a new hero.
So did you
is-
just like hate watch it or something?
Oh, man,
Like the
yeah.
entire season?
Not
Absolutely.
going. Not letting
I
this go.
I absolutely did. I thought
So
no,
why didn't you
no,
stop?
between season 1 and 2, I was like, no, Owen, Jaren's right. This is another turning of the wheel. It's a multiverse. This is just a different. But in season 2, what they did to Matt and his ability and his Ashendari and all the things. After that, I
loved Matt in season 2.
I know, because you're a bad person, but but they changed it so fundamentally. You need to let me get through this story. That'll bring me back to that. All right. So Overwatch 2 is getting MAGA. So it's MAUGA.
He looks like Maui from
Yeah.
Moana.
He's their first Samoan hero. And I thought that's just a couple letters off of Maui. But anyway, so they got MAGA. Hearthstone, you guys ever play that?
No.
Yeah. Well, the next major expansion is Showdown in the Badlands. I like the art style on this, but I don't know that game either. Diablo.
Looks the same as Overwatch to me.
Diablo's.
Style.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's pretty similar.
Yeah. It is. Diablo tabletop RPG announced. I don't play tabletop games very much. They take too much mental focus. And the highlight was Phil Spencer making a surprise appearance.
That was the
BlizzCon.
highlight.
I think so. Right above or below Diablo 4. I mean, you pick.
Well,
it depends on how much you like Phil Spencer, but
he didn't here's the thing is he didn't do anything. He just showed up and it was just like, hey guys,
he just
I'm
came
your daddy
here.
now.
Yeah, exactly. He just came to pee on the fire hydrant in the town to be like, I live here now.
He's got,
marking his territory.
Celebrity status. It's great.
That's
So
hilarious.
he just came out to talk about Blizzard and to be like,
We like
just
Blizzard.
yeah,
We're
he just
excited.
came out like, yeah, I'm the new guy. Throughout Blizzard's history, they've pioneered and refined so much across the gaming industry, and many of you today have been a part of that journey. So he's going to the crowd. This is the Coliseum.
Stroking the ego. Mm-hmm. Blizzard's ego.
So he talked about Diablo, how it propelled the action RPG, StarCraft, spawned the foundation of what esports is, which is really true. I really love.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched StarCraft esports? I got into it for a little bit.
I just watched one or two and I thought that's crazy.
I
And then
did. That's
moved
exactly
on
what
to
I
the
did.
next
It was
thing.
it was a novelty for me, but I was like, man, they are really into it.
Oh yeah.
But it pushed that whole industry forward, and then StarCraft 2 was games as live entertainment. That pushed that forward, games as a service type of thing. So anyway. And World of Warcraft changed not only how people developed and supported games, but really introduced a much wider audience to the concept of online communities. So, anyway, yeah, he came out and did his little jig and talked to the people.
World of Warcraft is interesting too, in that it wasn't the first MMORPG by any stretch, but for whatever reason, it just hit so hard.
Well, there was a bunch.
and has had so much lasting power. It's wild.
Do you guys remember the competitor at the time when they first launched? EverQuest was one of them.
And nobody cares about EverQuest anymore.
No, they just
not for.
I remember
not for
that
a
art
decade.
very well. Thank you very much.
The elf girl.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's high elf girl. Okay. Yeah. Well, there you go. Oh, and don't forget about Warcraft Rumble.
Oh, right. Warcraft Rumble. I don't even know what that is.
Sounds like a mobile game to me.
It is. It's a mobile game out on iOS and Android.
It's out now, right? You can go get it now?
Yeah, it's out now.
Yeah.
So
this seems
I
like
think it's
one
kind
that
of like a Clash Royale kind of a thing.
This is one that we should make Lando review for his mobile games.
I think it's a good idea. He has an assignment now.
There you go.
All right, let's see. We only have two other stories to talk about, so we'll hit those real quick. Do you guys remember the day before that was announced a while back and had a whole lot of press, whole lot of buzz?
Nope. I don't remember that.
I don't remember a thing about it.
Looks scary.
It's what would you call it? Kind of like a mashup between The Division and Resident Evil, I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
So
zombie thriller.
kind of undead stuff, but it takes place in a huge open world that you can play co-op with your friends, and it got massively hyped, and then they started releasing gameplay footage, and it got massively dumped on.
This is garbage.
Yeah, all the cinematic stuff made that hype train just cruise along, but then when they actually showed gameplay, people were like, and then they started delaying things, and they started basically throwing up all these red flags that made people start to wonder, does this game actually even exist, or is this just some grifters
Right.
trying to drum up business for a piece of junk.
Why does it have
And,
the same font and style of The Last of Us?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Those were some of the things that were part of the red flags that were
Is this
started
like
to
Left 4
get
Dead
noticed. No, I don't. Not really. Anyway,
with
from the-
multiplayer?
kind of, but a lot larger scope than Left 4
Yeah,
Dead, supposedly. But anyway, so they promised, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series versions, all kinds of stuff. Obviously PC, Steam, stuff like that. And well, it kept getting pushed back, and now they have put the console versions on a hiatus indefinitely. And they say
Wow.
they'll be launching early access on Steam in
They built in a caveat
December.
there. Did they built in a caveat to that comment? They're like, but this is our first huge game, so there might be unforeseen circumstances.
Yeah, basically saying we might delay it again.
Right.
So anyway, yeah, it's check the article out. This IGN article, it's pretty interesting. And they had a bunch of people got all riled up when they found out that they've been using what they call volunteers, and it's basically unpaid labor, unpaid development labor.
Oh,
And the way they're
that's
the
a
way
way
they're
to say it.
yeah, exactly. The way that they're rewarding them is the volunteers get to play the game early. They get special closed beta access. It's like,
Wow.
gee, thanks.
Yeah. Well, you need to play the game early if you're QA testing for them.
I know that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's like all they've done is basically make them QA testers.
Yeah.
So this company, Fantastic, it's the word fantastic without the first A. Fantastic.
Right.
So anyway, yeah, I would shy away from this for sure. It's got all the red flags of overhyped,
Overpromised, yeah.
overpromised, kind of thing. And it doesn't seem like they're doing anything to try and slow the hype train. In fact, it seems like they're trying to build it even further, even when they're also showing stuff that is like, ugh. So.
The old pump and dump.
Yep. And then Jaron has an article here about one of the greatest games of all time, Mass Effect.
Happy N7 Day, everybody.
Yeah. Now what
November
exactly
7th.
Oh,
N7.
okay. I get it.
Get it? Get it?
Yep, I do.
On this very special N7 Day, they have released a teaser for the next Mass Effect game. It's a 30-second clip of somebody walking.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Apparently, it's the return of Liara.
Oh, Liara Tassani. Okay.
It's been so long that since I played it, I can't really remember who's who.
Yeah, she was the blue lady in the first three games.
Blue lady.
With the tentacle hair.
Anyway, it's supposedly going to take place after Andromeda, and it's going to integrate the original trilogy and Andromeda into one great story. There is a
Interesting.
in the teaser poster art for it. If you zoom in on it, you can see Geth in it with clothes on.
Oh, that's cool. Means they're becoming more human, more human-like.
Apparently, sightings of Angora. I don't remember who that is.
I don't remember that either.
But they're native to Andromeda. I never played Andromeda. That's my problem.
Okay.
But anyway, people are thinking it takes
remember.
place in the Milky Way galaxy. So we'll see. I'm kind of excited if they can make a new Mass Effect game that captures the amazingness of the first trilogy. I'd be in. It's
interesting too that they're going to try to tie Andromeda and the first trilogy together, because if I remember correctly, the time span between the end of the third one and Andromeda, I'd have to look it up to be sure, but I think it's a couple 100 years.
Dude, writing, they can fix it with writing.
Well, I mean, the Liara Tassani being there makes sense because they live a super long time compared to humans. So that's not that weird. But if they tried to incorporate like Commander Shepard back in there, be like, wait, how's he still alive? He's
cryopods, dude.
He's 300 years old. That could be cryopod. That's a good point.
I hope they don't get overly ambitious and try to be like a Starfield or Star Citizen type of deal where they like, 5 million planets, come visit.
Yeah. No, just give us a couple dozen awesome ones. That's all we
Yeah.
need.
Because like the original Mass Effect games, they were like 30, 40-hour games. So they weren't terribly long by today's standards, right?
By RPG standards, yeah.
Yeah. So if it's like a more focused experience with an awesome story, I'd be in.
Yep, that sounds great. All right, I think that wraps it up. Next week, expect a full review of Spider-Man 2. I should be done by then. I think I'm approaching the end, and let me tell you, it is quite a ride. I am excited to share my thoughts on that one next week. Spoiler alert, they're good thoughts.
Now
but
they
until
don't need to
then,
tune in.
Yeah. No, you got to find out the details. Let's have a big shout out to our awesome Patreon backers, patreon.com/gadgetspot, and get you access to a couple of neat features like the in-between, and our channel on our Discord has a channel for Gadget Spot Patreon members, and, good stuff like that. As well as if you donate $6 a month or more, you get a shout out on the air, which Jaron has for us right now.
Big shout out to David Roshinsky, Connor Keesaw, and Mufa Baltoni. Thank you. Upscale Triantula, Andy Bird, Be the 8-Year-Old, Travis Johnson. Check out the new Baldur's Gate 3 custom text stickers at Pieman Graphics on Etsy. Jeremy, No Name, No Color, Keslow, Eric Steinman, Eric Cruz, Nathan Motzkus, Matt Nelson. Y'all should check out Hendrix Craftsman on Insta and TikTok. Me, Speechless Like a Japanese Video Game, ... Josh D, Adam, Aaron Faulkner, Stuart Lloyd, Joe, There's No Place Like G28, X0Y0Z0, Ryan M, and Adam Hecht. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. And until next week, Owen, take us out.
Hey, we hope you care.